This is 10,000 Hours of Indie, and more specifically the 80 Bands Around the World project. I've set myself the task of seeing 80 independent bands from around the world. There's no time limit, but I can only see one band or artist from each country, and I can't put money into the pocket of Ticketmaster. Simple, right? Well, I'm also based in Finland, which makes it tougher, so I'll need help from any touring bands that come through or event organisers that can help get me to my total of 80. Give me a follow on socials and get in touch if you can help. Links are in the show description. So this is the second part of a two-part special about my trip to Tallinn Music Week for the 80 Bands Around the World project. My third visit to the Showcase Festival, but this time I was going to see bands because of where they were from and not because they were in a certain genre. Check out episode 1 for the first 4 bands I saw and spoke with and a general overview of the festival, because in this, part 2, I review and speak with 5 more bands from Tallinn Music Week 2026. The first of which was Hajda Banda. They are a dance, folk and vocal group. I arrived a little late to see them on the Friday evening. They were playing in Von Krol on the Viljandi Folk Music Festival stage. This is one of the spaces permanently used as a live music hall, and it was packed. The stage is large and a 4-piece almost looked dwarfed by it. Hajda Banda are a Belarus/Polish group playing proper folk music, the kind you go to a big party and dance and chant along to, and the audience did. There was dancing, lots of it. There was much cheering and certainly a party mood, and I've not seen this space quite so full in the past. What a show. Even my friends, one of whom is really not a folkie, said how good he thought it was. A glowing review from me. I spoke to most of the band at their hotel the day after the show, and they had this to say. Can you introduce yourselves and the band in under a minute?
We are Hajda Banda, and we are playing music from the border, Belarus and Poland, and we are looking for some common elements of these both traditions. And yes, actually we are playing on traditional instruments only.
Yeah, so we play on violin, we play on 3-row accordion. That's typical to this region, very old type of accordion. We play frame drum, also very typical to this region. And we play hammered dulcimer, or cymbały as it's called there. So another very traditional instrument. So yeah, traditional music played on traditional instruments with traditional vibe.
And 4 vocalists as well, which was quite impressive.
Yes, vocals are very important because from Belarus we have a lot of songs, and I mean it's different between Poland and Belarus, because in Poland basically it's like one voice, only one voice sounds, and in Belarus it's normally 2, 3, sometimes 4 voices, at the same time. So that's why we're all of us.
What are your influences as a band? Is it sort of quite traditional, or do you listen to sort of newer things and bring that into what you do as well?
Well, I think all of us were grown on this tradition, but different traditions, because, for example, I'm from Belarus, so my childhood, I listened to a lot of traditional music, but Belarusian, Russian also, and sometimes Polish music. For example, Pavel is from another tradition.
Yeah. Actually, so Poland is a big country, and we've got many regions with different cultures. The music we are playing from is from northeast part of Poland. Actually, that's the border between Poland and Belarus. Where I was raised, I was raised on south, which is border more with Ukraine, with some Hungarian, Romanian influences as well. Slightly different. The same instruments. What is interesting, the dulcimer is also played there in a slightly different way. What I was grown in was rather the environment of traditional music, especially the traditional dance houses. That's my background, I could say. That's what actually brought me to this music, dancing and partying. actually. Yeah, partying, that's the stuff. Because that music, it's a music for everything, for every piece of life, every part of life, of human life. There is and you could hear that actually, hopefully yesterday on our concert, right? You've got music to which you can dance and you can party. You've got music meditation, right? Sorrow to weep to. So yeah, that's very, very broad experience. But originally brought me to this music at least was party and dancing.
And we're trying now to mix our inspirations and traditions with some kind of modern way of communicate with music. But still we are in tradition.
I saw the show last night. You've already played. Amazing crowd. Really good reaction from the crowd. How did you find the show last night?
Yes, very good. That was like one of our biggest shows inside, like the venue in-house show. Yeah. So the venue was big, and there was a lot of people. I didn't expect it because in the beginning there were like maybe 50, 60 person inside on the first showcase. So, and on the Sadu was probably the most. But there were still at least, I don't know how many, 500 maybe?
Yeah, 400 in there, I think.
Yeah.
It seemed quite full to me.
Yeah. And they were very reactive.
Yeah.
So it was a good crowd.
Yeah.
And the venue was good, like the sound was good, the technicians were good. So like everything were really nice.
So if you could recommend one of your tracks to a new listener, only one, which one would it be to sort of display what you do?
Maybe Kadu, because in Belarus there are so fast tempos. I mean, it's faster than in Poland, and it was surprised for us also. So maybe it's something characteristic from this region. Or maybe.
But the singing is also, but the dancing also, and the Pravdziwe is more like for listening.
It's also very hard because, as I said,
If you said two songs, it would
Let's make it two minutes.
So two it's way easier.
So mnie Prawdziwe because it's the vocal tradition.
Yeah.
And mix of the instrumental and something characteristic with stems because it's on 5. So it's not so traditional.
Yeah.
And
For dancing, quadrille.
right?
I think I would choose something on 3. Because this is quite typical and something not very usually found, right? In modern culture. Oberek.
Maybe two.
But people could just listen to all of them. Strange question for you guys, but you might have something niche. What is the most rock and roll thing you've ever done as a band?
The most rock and roll things we do from time to time, and we still do this, is like playing on the parties and playing on the dance parties where people are dancing and playing hard, like playing all night.
Yeah.
And people are dancing. Yeah, with no microphone. Yeah. For real people, like real venues, small things, but that's the feeling you've got is like this is the center of the world at the moment, right? And people are like whirling around, and you play and play and play and play, and you can't stop. And yeah, that's I think that's for me the most rock and roll thing. and you don't even you don't need to prepare for it. It's just rock and roll. It's just you play and you improvise.
Can you recommend another band from your native country that we should check out?
There is a famous in Poland violinist Witek Broda and Kapela Brodów. That's what I would choose. Right, the recordings that you can find on the internet,
especially the old one.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's rock and roll.
Yes, it's very very rock and roll.
For me, it was always Warsaw Region. Because yes, I went which is 20 years on the music industry, and I think it's a good job.
If you want something like rock and roll traditional, from what Pavel says, there is also a band called TMW, and they are pretty rock and roll. Like they are young, but they are.
I don't know.
But they are. If you want to have something like the construction of the sound of the musician from old age, they are pretty hardcore.
No, that's good. Yeah. And finally, what is the best way for people to find out about your music? Is it your Instagram or?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, social media, Instagram mostly. I think.
Facebook also, but Instagram.
If you are old, then Facebook.
Next up is the Kanazoé Orkestra. They are a global music group, a bit of Afro jazz and that kind of style. I saw them late on Friday evening in Club of Different Rooms. There's a venue description in the previous episode. Here I saw a world music group with members from Burkina Faso and France playing more party music. Kanazoé himself is a balafon player, an instrument much like a xylophone, so I already knew there was going to be an authentic African sound to this show, and I was excited about the prospect. Challenging to get anywhere near the front to see this band, as it was packed, they very much continued the party started by the previous band, French-Americana trio No Money Kids, who were also great. Much call and response from the band had the audience involved from the start, and they loved it. The music was great and vocals were immense. Kanazoé himself doesn't speak much English, so the day after the show I spoke to the band's French drummer Laurent Planel about the band and how they thought the show had been. Tell me about the band, what you do, and what genre you are.
The band is called Kanazoé Orkestra. Kanazoé is the name of the leader, of the main balafon player, and if you want a little story, Kanazoé is a billionaire in Burkina Faso. Not the Kanazoé in the band, it's a nickname. Kanazoé is a nickname because it's a really wealthy person in Burkina. He was working, he builds roads, he builds big things like this, and he was very generous with people. So he's really renowned in Burkina Faso. And my Kanazoé, Seydou Diabaté, the balafon player, was really poor when he was in Burkina Faso, and people say, okay, you're really poor, but when you play the balafon, you're so rich. So we are gonna call you Kanazoé Balafon. It will be your nickname. And he was a teenager, and he kept the nickname until today. Yeah, Kanazoé Orkestra. It's the name of the leader. It's a big adventure. It's a journey. It's almost 13 years old now, this project. And first it was like musician from Africa and musician from France. Okay, let's do something together. And we really have been growing together for this year and thinking of the music we wanted to play together and having this really deeply rooted culture and instrument and the way of singing. It's really African stuff. They all are what we call griot. They are all from musician families. Father is a musician, grandfather, etc., etc. They almost didn't go to school. Always music. So it's really traditional stuff, traditional musician. And they want to share this and they want to change stuff. They want to say, okay, we know how to do this. Now let's do something different. So the meaning of this project is to have this deeply rooted stuff and trying to have a sound from today, nobody sound, and we try to bring this to the people, traditional stuff and music that you can hear on the radio too.
Probably mainly traditional, but what are the band's influences musically?
It really depends. For the musician from Burkina Faso, it's traditional music and popular music from West Africa mainly. But they also discover like French music, French singers. Also they know jazz, they know rock music. But the influences are mainly African, Mandingue, West African music. And for the musician from France, we all have jazz background, funk background, mainly black music, jazz, reggae, soul, gospel, this kind of stuff. And for this album, the main influence is more English African countries like South Africa, Amapiano, Nigeria, Afrobeats. So what we can call modern urban music. Artists like Rema, like Burna Boy. And we say, okay, can we try to do this music with the traditional instruments?
So you're here in Tallinn. I assume it's the first time the band have played in Tallinn.
It's true.
You played in Club of Different Rooms on Thursday.
Yes.
How was the show? The audience were loving it, but from your perspective as a band, how did you find the show?
It was really, really, really cool. It's always difficult when you do a showcase festival or festival with a lot of different bands because it's really short. The band stops, the band before you, and then you have to run, you set up the stage, and you start to play. And so it's always like, okay, it's happening, let's go. And we woke up at 2 a.m. because the plane was really early. So it's a long day. When it's 11 o'clock, it's time to play. It's like you already done 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
And then the show starts. And when you're a musician, you're always afraid that the audience won't be there. Really few people, or cold audience, like people don't get your vibe, or the way they get the vibe, they don't give it back. They like it, but so it can be wide. And it was so easy because people was here, they were moving, they were trying to sing or to say, answering when you say, how are you doing? So it was really nice. And I will speak for the singer and for the front line because they don't speak English. So we have a lot of concerts in the world now, mainly not in France, but in foreign countries. So we are trying to improve the contact with people in English. And how can you translate this, your vibe, and explaining the song and all of this when you don't speak English? So we try step by step to prove this, and it works. We are really happy because a lot of people came up to the show and they congrat the front line, the singer, the balafon players. So much energy. So people get the point, and we are really happy with this.
If you could recommend one track from the band to a new listener, that is already available, what would it be?
I think Ballon. Ballon, it's the first track of the new album. It's really a piano track. Maybe it's one of the most modern track on the album. It's a really special note scale from the village of the balafon player. So it sounds really typical, really particular. If you listen, you will feel the vibe. It's not common. It's something really special. And also, the song is about ballon means balafon. It's the instrument they play, and it's an homage to the former balafon player, to the elders.
Right. Because
balafon, it's a mythical instrument. It's not just music. They say things with the balafon when they play. It's the name of his father, the name of his mother. So in this song, they play the name of the people, and they also sing the name of the people. They say, thank you. You were there before us, and you opened the path for us.
What is the most rock and roll thing the band has ever done?
We have been playing in the south of Italy, and it was like 30 hours drive, and it's really a lot of things, because when you just say this 30-hour drive, people say, okay, it's a long drive, but when you are really doing this, time stopped, and it's really strange. And when we came back, the truck broke, and we had to stop every 50 kilometers to put some water on the jeep. So I think I don't know, maybe it was like 1 day and a half to come back to our place. It was pretty crazy. But also we went on tour in Burkina Faso in 2021, and the plane was on Tuesday, and on Monday, I don't know what is the word in English. It's the government changed by force.
Right. Yeah. Overthrown or.
Yeah, some kind of riot in the streets.
Oh, wow.
Also about the French army. French army was in Niger, Ivory Coast, Burkina Faso. And like people say, okay, French, get out. It was Monday. We got there on Tuesday. So we arrived in Burkina Faso. It was like chaos. We played for the French Institute. And the guy said, what are you doing here? You're just insane. And the guy told me, because the band left to Bobo Dioulasso, the second biggest city, and the baggage, they didn't make it to Ouagadougou. So I stay in Ouagadougou to pick the baggage. And the head manager of the French Institute, he told me, the ambassador called me, he said, "Are you just crazy?" He said, "Maybe all the guys say maybe dead, well, maybe the bus has been attacked, and maybe everybody, we can't know, maybe everybody's dead, and it's your fault."
The question is, can you recommend another band from your native country that we should check out? Is there a band from Burkina Faso that you could recommend listeners to check out?
Yeah, about the balafon, there is a band called Burkina Faso. It's really traditional balafon right now. There is also the big brother of Kanazoé is called Mamadou Diabaté, and he really opened the path, like I said before. Now he's a teacher in the university in the USA. He really, can you imagine the travel from this little village? He lives in Vienna, in Austria, and then he made it to the US several times. So now he's a teacher, and all this from a village where there is no money. Even it's not an expression. People are exchanging stuff, sharing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I give you this. You give me, that's
old-fashioned.
Yeah,
money style.
Pretty medieval style. So the journey is really impressive. So Mamadou Diabaté, it's also more traditional stuff. And the main artists of Burkina Faso, like Alif Naba or Flobi. Flobi is a traditional singer, really popular. Alif Naba, it's more like hip-hop stuff and modern stuff, and really popular too.
And finally, what is the best way for people to find out more about the band's music?
Then the best way, it's definitely to see the band on stage. It's so powerful. Kanazoé, the balafon player, he may be the greatest one nowadays. Not just because of the speed and the strength, but for the music in a general way. But on stage, even if you don't know African music or anything, you will get this. And it's the same for the singer. Loso Keita, it's one of the most powerful voice of West Africa.
Yeah, he has an amazing voice.
Yeah.
And you can be found on Instagram for sort of info and updates.
Yeah, Instagram, please follow us. And we have a website, a lot of video on YouTube.
Alum Alu were up next. They're a folk rock band from Latvia. On Saturday afternoon, the city stages took to life. These were free-to-all outdoor stages with a glimpse at acts performing at this year's festival for those who were not attending the main events. One of those stages was in the main festival area at Teleskivy, and where I went to see Latvian band Alum Alu. This is a large band with 7 members fitting on a relatively small stage, although they had played an even smaller stage earlier in the festival. Again, this was a proper party atmosphere folk band, mostly upbeat songs led by 2 female vocals and almost the whole band singing during some songs. A big sound. The band gathered a good crowd and invited the audience to join in with some simple songs and put on a great performance. It was cold, and this was exactly what the frozen audience bodies needed. I spoke to a few members of the band just before they took to the stage. Can you introduce the band and what you do in under a minute?
We are a 7-piece band. My name is Alexis. I play guitar and I sing. And we formed this band together with Simon Chisums, who plays mandolin and also sings. And then we have 5 more. This is we have Richards on bass. We have Jakin on drums. We have a vocalist Ellie. And also a violin player and a vocalist Egia, and bayan player Yanis, who also is a vocalist. And we play folk rock.
So what are your influences as a band?
The primary influence, at least at the start, was a Hungarian Roma music, which has very specific kind of music, and also is other folk music like from Balkans and from other cultures. Mostly it's folk, but also we'll kind of like the rock and roll vibe of the gypsy punk, like a Gogol Bordello and what else?
Yes, I'm also quite influenced by we have a lot of a lot of the band is very into folk music, like Eli and Giannis and Egia are like proper Latvian folklorists. And then kind of as well, I try to bring in a bit of more of a rock and roll vibe, like Alex said, Gogol Bordello. I mean, I grew up listening to rock and roll music, so a lot of 70s and 80s classics, plus more modern ones like Dabiotsa Collective, for example, from Bosnia and Herzegovina, are quite a big influence, doing a kind of similar style. I'm a big fan of Frank Turner as well in UK, the kind of folk punk songwriter.
Is this your first time playing in Tallinn? Probably not if you're from Latvia.
It's our second time playing in Tallinn, our third time playing in Estonia.
Okay.
So we did 3 years ago, we played at a small festival just outside of Pärnu, down in the south. And then 2 years ago, we played in Pärnu again. And we also came up to Tallinn and played at a small festival here in Tallinn called Kanazoé Festival. But this is our first time in Tallinn Music Week, yeah.
You're in a unique situation because you've played one show already and you're about to play a second outside show. How was the first gig and what are you expecting from the second one?
So the first gig was pretty nice. I mean, it was in Oslaina, this nice bar that we only realized when we got there that we'd actually been there before for a drink after the last time we were here.
It's a nice little bar.
It's a nice place, yeah. The sound was quite nice. It was quite a challenge getting everything set up and packed away in the 15-minute spot that we had for the changeovers when there's 7 of us on the stage.
It's a very small stage for 7 of you.
Yeah, we managed it though. We managed it. We didn't overrun or anything, so that was quite good. Everything was pretty tight and according to time. Audience was nice and friendly. We met a lot of people afterwards, made some new friends. I guess we're hoping for the same today. Or
if you could recommend one track from the band to a new listener that sort of showcases what you do, what would it be?
Vini Irtaista from the first album, track 6. It's it's taken from a Hungarian gypsy song called CX. We took the melody from there. Alex just wrote new words to it in Latvian, and it has a nice mandolin solo. So obviously, as the mandolin player, I quite like it. And then it kind of I like it because it's fast and it kind of builds and builds and builds, and then there's just a big crescendo at the end with a drum solo, and then we go back into the last verse again, and it's very powerful. And we played that as the opening song the other day, though, when we're not playing it on the stage here today. But I'd also recommend our latest single, Neustarami. That's got quite popular in Latvia already. It's been played a lot on the radio, and it's Spotify streams for that one have already been quite crazy in just a month. Our listening count on Spotify went up by 800% in 2 weeks after we released it, which was pretty crazy to watch. I'd recommend that too.
What is the most rock and roll thing the band has ever done?
We've done some pretty rock and roll things that are probably not safe for work that I shouldn't share, so so I won't. Okay, let's go with when we played the festival in Estonia the first time we came here. We came with our friend Father Andy, who is another musician who used to be based in Riga. He's now in Italy, and I think after the concert we all got pretty drunk and we went into the sauna, and I think Andy challenged me and Janis and Eli and Egia to do a lap around the sauna naked, and because we were drunk and it was in the festival vibe, all 4 of us did it. Yeah, and that's rock and roll enough. I don't know. That'll do.
That'll do. Yeah. Can you recommend another band from your native country that listeners to the podcast should check out?
Orange Brigdenes. They've also played here at Tallinn Music Week 2 years ago. They're quite a fun, also similar, kind of turbo folk orchestra, they call themselves. They have a brass section. They also have a mandolin. They're pretty good friends of ours. We've played with them a few times in Latvia too, so I'd recommend them, yeah.
Okay. And finally, what is the best way for people to find out more about your music?
Social media, yeah.
Instagram, we have a Spotify account, we're on YouTube, on all the streaming platforms. You can just click on the link tree and you get all the links and all the available where we're on.
Next up from Austria, Sketchbook Quartet, an instrumental jazz band. Moving on to Saturday evening now, and the jazz stage in Fotografiska, where I had come to see Austrian 4-piece Sketchbook Quartet. Mainly seated, this is a great space for jazz, apart from the bar area in the next room being a little too loud at times. This is a group of studied musicians, focused and serious about the playfulness of their music. They launch into their set and play through a range of compositions which display all the nuances and characteristics that define their sound. Saxophone, bass clarinet, electric bass and drums are the sounds here, and they have a great understanding of each other and what they want to do. There is humour in the music as well, and it's a great set. I spoke to Leonard just after the band's soundcheck, and he had this to say. Can you introduce yourself and the band and what genre you do in under a minute?
My name is Leonhard Skorpa. I'm a freelance musician and composer from Vienna. I'm doing mostly like creative jazz and improvised music stuff, and have a couple of working bands. And one of the working band is Sketchbook Quartet. It exists already like over 10 years. And we're doing a eclectic mixture of different styles. I write everything, and I also try to give like people a lot of freedom to do improv stuff in between.
What are this band's main influences musically?
That's a difficult question. I mean, I have like kind of an eclectic taste from classic. I mean, I grew up in Vienna, so I have like a classical background, played piano. I love like the Viennese classic, Schubert, especially. So I have like this classic background. Then I also I studied jazz, so classic jazz. And like, I also like to go to clubs, and I don't try to like write in a different style. I think I developed like a handwriting in the last 20 years, how I write. I like to surprise people with funny twists. I would say it's like jazz fusion, more or less, if you want to put it in a genre, like Spotify asks, or like if you release, they ask. So I would like put it maybe in jazz fusion, like these particular bands.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when I was reading the sort of write-up in the Tallinn Music Week thing, it makes it sound like you almost have an element of prog, where you're heading in a direction and suddenly you go somewhere.
Yeah, that's that too. Yeah. We also have that, and we have like there are a lot of like tunes we haven't played live before. We played them live, but it's like a new program, so we're about to. I'm working on the 4th studio album, so like that's all the tunes we're playing tonight are like completely newly written this year.
Okay.
And yeah.
Right. So you're in Tallinn. Is this your first time in Estonia?
No, it's already the 3rd time actually. So I already played in Philly shows, this jazz club, twice actually. And one festival called Chubar. It's like on an island with a complicated name, I forgot.
Okay.
So like, I love the Baltikum. I also love like Riga and Tallinn, like beautiful cities and super chilled and great festival.
You've done your sound check, but you haven't played yet.
No.
What are you expecting from tonight?
I think it has a good energy in this Fotografiska museum. It's a great stage. Sound is amazing. Sound technicians are really good, and I hope everybody enjoys the night, and we too. And it's always like you have to adjust your mindset when you play these showcase festivals, because it's not good if you want too much, you know? So you have to take it easy.
And you've got to condense everything into a 40-minute set as well.
But then it's like also like there's a risk that it's getting too busy, you know, and too much. So it has to be a good balance. I think we developed a good set for that, and I'm looking forward.
If you could recommend one track from your band to a new listener that is already available, that sort of showcases what you do, what would it be?
Yeah. I would say like Diego. It's a piece I wrote for Diego Maradona, and it has like a lot of funny twists. I mumble in the saxophone at the beginning. There's also a children choir featured, and it's a fun tune.
I'm an Englishman. Is there a handball goal in the music as well?
There is, there is like one, like.
What is the most rock and roll thing you've ever done?
I mean, like, you know, nowadays, I mean, the music is a bit too complicated to be totally wasted to play. So like, we're all like soberish when we play it. So on stage, but I mean, we enjoy our lives, and on tour, like, we enjoyed going to techno clubs. So like after shows in cities we don't know.
Things can get a bit raucous.
Yeah.
It's good to hear.
Yeah.
Can you recommend another band from your native country that listeners to the podcast should check out? Any genre?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like there's an alternative indie band. It's called Buntspecht, which is the German name for woodpecker.
Okay.
And they have a good sound. I mean, they're already quite famous, but like only in the German-speaking part, I think. Yeah, and like the guy has like an androgyne voice and appearance, and it's a fun mixture. So Buntspecht.
Okay.
I think it's like a good band. A lot of people would like it. It's like not too niche.
And finally, what is the best way for people to find out more about your music? Is it Instagram or?
Yeah, I mean, I'm like on and off Instagram. When I need it, I install it, and if I don't need it, I delete it. So like my homepage, leonhardkorupa.com, is the best way.
And last but certainly not least is Wormman. The genre is darkwave, electronic, industrial and metal. The very last act I saw at the festival on Saturday night was Serbian act Wormman, performing in Afhorne. The show was part of the Vikendica stage, a Croatian, Serbian and Bosnian term for a holiday home, vacation cottage or weekend getaway house, typically located outside of urban areas. You didn't really need that description though. This was definitely an example of something I wouldn't have actively sought out based on the genre. This was a blend of dance music and black metal, and I actually really enjoyed it. A prime example of never judging a book by its cover. Only half of the band was actually performing tonight. When I say half, that's one person, because there's only two of them in the band. Throwing himself wholeheartedly into the music, throwing himself around the stage dressed all in black, including balaclava, and really feeling the music. There was a certain amount of Rammstein in the style and showmanship, but certainly something I would see again. I spoke to the half of Wormman that I saw the week after the festival online.
Can you introduce you as an artist in under a minute and what you do?
I am the vocalist from Wormman. Wormman's a duo, and we do electronic music with, I guess, like black metal vocals. So that's kind of the thing. I guess like the closest genre would be EBM or aggro tech, something like that. But we like to call ourselves synth hardcore. But that's not really a genre. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at.
Who are the band's influences?
A lot of things, and mostly it's like two different spectrums. One is like darkwave electronica. There's this Czech, it's kind of like a Bandcamp project. It's called MK Ultras. That one, probably gonna have a difficult time like searching it up, but yeah, MK Ultras. I think The Age of the Eternal Child in English, but everything's in Czech, so you're probably not gonna have like a really easy time finding it. Darkwave stuff like, I don't know, Boy Harsher, Kyle and Mikla. It's a trio from Iceland. And on like the other side of the spectrum, kind of like the black metal side of the spectrum, just like a bunch of Polish black metal bands, you know, Sznur, Furia, Gruzia, Odraza. So yeah, that's the kind of mix. That's a mix of influences that we got going.
We're actually speaking a week after I saw your show. How did you find Estonia and the audience at your show?
Estonia is really cool. It's cold over there. I can tell you that much as someone from a incredibly mild climate. But yeah, it's great. I've got this like gang of friends. They were like in the first rows. I know them from Counter-Strike. I know them from like online games. I've known them they've been online friends for like 7-8 years. And then we like this was like when we met up. So they were in the audience as well. It was really fun. Audience in general, like I think like people liked it. Tallinn's fun, small, cute, you know.
If you could recommend one track by the band to a new listener, which would it be?
I guess Jackal Unbound. That's the titular track that our only album is called after. That one's pretty, it's like good intro, I suppose. It's like for friendly listening, if you can call it that.
What is the most rock and roll thing the band has ever done?
We used to have this like joke where we sent like corporations funny, like we used to fuck around with them like via email, but that wasn't very, very like rock and rollish. I guess that was just like us going in the spam folder by sending like quasi radical emails to like big like evil corporations. So I mean that's kind of rock and roll, but not really. We're not that rock. We're just chill guys. We don't rock and roll.
Unlike the music, which very much does.
Yeah.
And can you recommend a band from your native country that we should check out?
We got these friends. They make post-metal, kind of. They're like kind of... So we're not from Belgrade originally. We're from like northern Serbia. And they live like at a city nearby. I mean, like, we're from Opovo. That's like a small town. And they live in a city nearby. And like, based on that, we like hit each other up and we like became friends. They're called Isabel, with an S, obviously. So yeah, those guys are fun. bunch of other stuff here as well. We had a track with a rapper that's from here as well. His name is Nihil, like Nihil. It's not like Nihil like the name. It's like nihilism, but without the ism, So big shout out to him as well. He's our buddy. He's our guy.
And finally, what is the best way for people to find out more about your music? Are you on Instagram, that kind of thing?
Yeah, we're like everywhere. We got Facebook, we got MySpace, we don't have MySpace. Like Facebook, Instagram. Instagram is where we post. Like when people like put up the stories, tag us and stuff, we like keep them in a little highlights thingy. So yeah, that's I guess that's like a good place to like keep up with us.
So to recap, during the whole of Tallinn Music Week, I have ticked off a massive 9 countries. In this episode, country 12 is Belarus, 13 is Burkina Faso, 14 is Latvia, country 15 is Austria, and finally, country number 16 is Serbia. Thank you, Tallinn Music Week 2026. Another great experience. I have a feeling if all goes well, then next year's trip to the festival may well complete the 80 Bands project.